This is Angelina, a dynamic 16-year-old. She is the second of 6 children in an extremely close-knit family. Their home is always alive and full, and her family is constantly going in every direction, but they are grounded by their dedication to each other and to Christ. They are, in many ways, defined by their overpowering faith, which moved the family from Michigan to North Carolina, when Angelina's father felt moved by God to go south and enter the law profession. Her mother faithfully followed her husband away from her family, which still lives in Michigan, to build a new life in North Carolina. She manages the household and the lives of her 6 children, who range in age from 6 months to 18. Angelina and her sisters, Amanda, Harmonia, Allegra, and Elena, watch out for each other, and Eduardo, their only brother, who they hope won't be too affected by living with so many girls. The 6 children have been homeschooled for most of their lives, giving Angelina a lot of free time to look after her younger sisters and brother. She is a role model for them, and they look up to her and Amanda, who is the oldest, immensely. Whether she is helping Harmonia set up the basketball hoop, carrying Eduardo piggyback, or just hanging out in the backyard, she is a constant playmate and caretaker. Her sense of responsibility is enormous. She claims that she loves to bake, and Amanda is the cook, but she is willing to do both to help her mom in the kitchen. She can also be counted on in her father's law office, where she works when she isn't busy with her online courses or looking after her brother and sisters. Her father works long hours, and she's also come to know the legal system, but thinks she will prefer business. She often says, "I know a lot about it, but don't want to do it." Her father tells her, "You can work here forever." But she is on the move and constantly going, and she has big plans for her future. She is looking forward to transitioning to a charter school next year, to the slight dismay of her parents, who wants her to stay at home with them. She and Amanda spend a lot of time running around town together, making deliveries for work, making the drive to church, and going shopping. The two are constant companions, both inside and out of the house. Even though Angelina was admittedly jealous when her sister was invited to go to the Cedar Ridge High prom, she was by her side to pick out her jewelry and help dress her and do her makeup. Well, she was mostly helpful, at least. Her father does not allow his daughters to date. They must court. Courting is a graduated process. After 6 months, a couple can hold hands, and they, if allowed by the parents, can kiss after a year. Amanda is currently courting a boy from church who took her to his senior prom. Since Amanda and her boyfriend have just celebrated their year anniversary, they are now allowed to kiss, and shared their first one during the last dance of prom. The family rose to the occasion, taking pictures, giggling excitedly, and watching Amanda and her date. Their father stood in the back holding Elena and telling her that she could never go to prom and leave him. He reminded Allegra of a contract that she signed stating that she would never go away with a boy he didn't approve of. "I still have it at my desk," he exclaimed. Amanda met her boyfriend at Abundant Life, where they go to church and youth group. They've met most of their friends through church, and they love going to youth group, where they can see their friends. And the youth pastor, Ray McKinnon, who they have established a special relationship with. They are constantly fundraising to go to evangelical events like Acquire the Fire, and Ray is always happy to help them out. He, in many ways, represents the church that they belong to, friendly, welcoming, and ready to educate the word about Christ. After church, they often go to lunch and hang out with their friends. They are really close to their friends from church, but Angelina is anxious to go to school to make friends and go to prom. Even though her dad says she has to pick either her junior or senior prom, she can't do both. She often finds it hard to restrain from dating, since many 16-year-old girls are completely caught up with their boyfriends and potential, or not-so-potential loves of their lives. However, she is committed to her family and her faith, and although she dreams of going away to college to find herself, she also admits that she can't imagine leaving her parents, sisters, and brother far behind. Next year, she starts junior year, her first experience in a public school. She is a little bit nervous, but mostly excited. As she goes out into the world, she knows she will come across situations that will test her faith. However, She knows she must test it to make it stronger. And she will always know where to find home.